All right, we're gonna look at the gold and silver miners, and we'll also take a little look at gold and silver. Why not? It's one of the things that most people are interested in right now. All right, let's do this. Chart one, Agnico Eagle Mines. Yeah, this one's good. I'm currently only fractionally higher for the month, but look at this, 174s from the 33s. I mean, it's a factor of 6 since, of course, it's mid 22. That's, a good 3.5 years. But I know, and you could argue, well, are we going to break the 187s? The thing is, my central premise would be that gold's got to break above, well, is going to print 5K, and eventually, if you assume gold's 7, 8K next year, which looks realistic, what's this going to be? That's the question that I want you to ask the question. For every one of these mining stock charts, the question should be, if gold's 5K, what is this stock? If gold's 5 to 7, what's this stock going to be printing? What if gold's 10K? If gold's 10K, what's this? What is it? What's it going to be? $500? I mean, seriously, why wouldn't it be 500? Anyway, that's one. And keep asking yourself the question, what's these stocks are going to be? Okay, here's a silver one. First Majestic Silver up 9.5%. New multi-year high at 1680, what's that, 1669. Look at it. It's still below the, what's that, February 2021 23s. That was back when silver was silver back then? Silver was $30. So think about this. When silver was 30, First Majestic was 23. Now silver's 67 or so. This has a long way to go. And yeah, you can argue it's overbought, 77, but come on. When's this gonna go to when's this gonna go to $50? I mean, next year, pretty good chance. That assumes that's gonna clearly need silver above probably 90 to 100. Moving on. Anglo Gold Ashanti up 0.5%. Actually, yeah, 0.5%. 86s. Look at that. What a run. What a run from the 11s to 88s. Now 86s. Clearly it wants to push against 100. And yeah, look, RSI is 87. It's overbought. So what? It can stay overbought for sometimes a couple of years. Barrick mining, one of the top two best miners. Yeah, look at that new historic high. RSI is 86 is overbought, but it can be that way for a long time. All right, what else? Actually, I should just say, isn't this going to go to 100 eventually? Well, I mean, it could easily be 100 next year. Gold mining, I'm not a fan. I mean, look, it's up 5.5% in the 18s. Price structure is a multi-month bull flag. Big resistance or big magnet levels around 30, 34-ish, which is 90% higher. Not a fan though. There's better miners out there. EXK, Endeavor Silver, actually down 4%, but it's bounced from a low of $8.30 to $9.52. Again, this is another one. Back in 2011, when silver was 49, this was 13. Silver's now 67. This should be near $20, right? Again, the trend is up anyway, so Franco Nevada, a royalty miner, up 1%. Don't really care about that one. Goldfields, that's a fine company, up 5% in the 45s. Oh, look at it. Look at this. Back in 2018, $1.81. $6.41 in 2022. I mean, look at the start of this year it was 12. 12. It is it is quadrupled almost. And why wouldn't this be $100 next year? Little Heckler, silver miner. Wow, look at that. New historic high up almost 17% for the month in the 18s. Look at this. Look, just earlier this year it was $4.45. Nobody cared about it then. I mean, I still have the habit of calling it Little Heckler, but it's a fine silver miner. Again, the question should be asked if silver prints 100, what's this? What would it be? So this would be at least what, $30? $30 is about another 52% up. A good print. $30 looks realistic in February. Harmony up 5%, $20. Yeah, just broadly climbing with the sector. Ken Ross, let's look at that. 281, 464, now in the 28s. Again, another good example. Look at this. Kinross was officially overbought in mid 2024 when it was eights. So it's been overbought since it was $8, and now it's 28s, printing 29s. So how long could it be overbought for? All of next year, maybe. Again, if you think gold 5K, what's this going to be? Uh, $40, maybe. Newmont, the best, arguably the best gold miner in the world. New historic high, 102. Next target is 125 to 130. If you believe gold is 7 to 8,000 next year, my target would be somewhere north of 200. And American silver, arguably the best of the silver miners. New historic high, 52s. So again, if silver is 100, what would this be? Maybe 75 to 80. Royal gold. Wow, 11%. Impressive run. Impressive run from the 21s in 2016. That was the commodity low for gold, silver, copper, a lot of things. It's up basically a factor of 10. Of course, it did take a good, almost a full decade. SSR mining, not a fan. I mean, you can argue short-term structures are bull flag, but no, no thanks. Wheat and precious metals up almost 9%, new historic high 120. So again, if silver's 100, what's this? 150, right? Yeah. All right, let's jump to what we're going to start with. All right, do we want to cover silver or gold first? Oh, I can't even decide. What am I going to cover? Start with gold. Um, let's look at weekly. Yeah, look at this. And look at this. Look, it's a great example of bullish pennants. You got three of them. I mean, there's a few others if I could be bothered to draw them, but these are the main three ones, three of importance. And look at the size of that one. How the bigger the pennant, of course, the more power, more upside you can expect. So the recent one isn't quite as big, but there's there's zero reason why we're not going to get a new historic high. Whether that happens before the end of the year or not until January, it doesn't matter, right? We're clearly going to go about 4381. Basic target be 4500, and then above that, 5K. I don't think 5K looks out of range until at least February. Probably March, actually, when I think about it. I mean, the conservative outlook would be gold 5K maybe in March or April. Trending up. I won't even bother with the monthly chart. Let's just go to silver weekly. Look at that. Look at that. So yeah, structure similar to the bullish pennant in gold, of course, as it should be. I mean, look at it. There it is. I mean, look, that's as obvious as it came. I told you this. And what is that? It's a breakout candle. And breakout candles, by definition, should be powerful like that. And then the following week was a little bit less powerful, but then you keep saying we keep going. New, higher highs, higher lows. And yeah, we're overbought, but we were also overbought back in at the start. Look at this. We became overbought at the start of September, back when silver was printing, we'll call it $40. So since it became overbought, silver's gone up around what? $27. $27 on 40 is what? 65% or so. These are good reminders that when something becomes overbought, it can stay that way for weeks, months, even years, depending on what time frame you're looking at. But yeah, look at this. 67.21 was the official settlement for the week. I think we're going to cool back a little bit on Monday, Tuesday. Maybe 65s on a stretch. Maybe even 64s. Yeah, the most bearish short-term target would be 64s, but it's like, okay, then we're just going to print 70 to 75 either in New Year's week or by mid-January. And of course, this could even hyperspike. You could absolutely have a hyperspike to 100 in January. That would make for a short-term exhaustion top though, and then you have to ask the question: well, if $100 is where it maxes out, where could it cool back to? I mean, the breakout level was a 49/50, but I don't see silver coming back, getting cut in half. Um, it would be the natural way to go, but it would require equities to get smashed, 30% or so. And there's no sign of that right now. In any case, short-term bullish silver. Well, short-term bearish in terms of a couple of days, but net bullish into early mid-January. Anything else to cover? Actually, I will just briefly look at SLV on a 15-minute. Actually, we'll start with a 60. Look, on a 60-minute, momentum will be inclined to turn negative at the Monday open. But we're not going to go down much, right? At most, we'd go down for probably a few hours. Maybe to tag red gap, but even yellow gap looks a stretch. And if you look at the smaller 15-minute cycles, I mean, look, ironically, on a 15-minute, we're already on the low side. So we could, I will personally be looking for maybe an early drop on Monday morning, like we saw on Wednesday, where we're on the low side and we drop and then we floor by around 10 o'clock. So if I'm right, maybe I can buy back from Red Gap when Red Gap wasn't tagged on Friday. So we're only talking about what? 2%? So that's my hope. My hope is that we drop 2% early Monday and I'll be a buyer. But if we jump, if we're open up on Monday, I will not chase. Not least because it's Christmas week, and generally anyone normal should not be trading Christmas week anyways. It's just why would you? Why would you even um turn on your screen? So yeah, I'm gonna hope for a drop like early Wednesday where I'd be a buyer. Actually, the last chart I should highlight is maybe silver on a 20-year. Yeah. You got to think when you look at the MACD, if we're going to print $100 in Q1, we're going to do it pretty soon, like either January or Feb. Look at the RSI, almost 89. Because remember, the breakout was October, so we're talking about a 45-year breakout. The implications on a multi-year basis are monstrous. Not least for the related mining stocks. So next year is going to be pretty wild. Anyway, on that grander perspective, I will say good night.